In this lesson, you're going to learn how to create content in terms of analytics and reports from the data model that you've already created. What we're going to focus on is first creating the report, then creating a global calculation, which will be used throughout the business, not just for the report that you've created. Okay, so what we're going to do for this lesson is understand how we build content specific for the audience members that are watching this demo. So what we're going to do is quickly create a simple sales report. So from here, I'm going to click onto analysis report and then my model. Now I'm going to go into the model and I'm going to start designing it. So I'm going to open up my left-hand side and start off creating a table. So you can see here, when I hit the refresh button, my measures and my dimensions are there. So I'm going to open up my measures, and then what we're going to go to is my sales invoice lines. I'm going to drag and drop a custom made calculation, as you can see by these sum signs, and I'm going to mix that in with a source based measure, i.e. it comes directly from my ERP. So what I'm going to do here is now break this information down by company. So I'm going to drag and drop company into slices. I only want to look at this information for the current year, so I'm going to go to the date, calendar, relative time, current period, and drag and drop current year into filters. There is a faster way of doing this. I'm just showing you the other way. So from here, I want to break this now down by the months within that calendar. Look how quick that is. Now, the reason why this is 2016 is, as you can see, I've made the report of this application pretend that we're on the 31st of the August 2016. If I click onto the cog sign, you can do this by clicking on my profile and changing the working date. So let's close that down. Okay, so now we've designed the report. What we're going to do now is deal with some challenges that traditionally happen within customers. I'm first and foremost going to do a calculation so I can see the average sales per quantity. So what we're going to do here is go sales per quantity. And then I'm going to drag and drop net sales, divide that by quantity invoiced, and then click apply. And there we are. Now I'm going to transform this report into a chart because I want to show the flexibility. But before I do that, I've just created the calculation within the report itself. So I want this now to be part of my model so it can be used globally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save the calculated number, save it on here, and click OK. From here, I'm going to put it as a measure within the cube. So let's go and decide where that measure is going to be where it's going to sit. I'm going to make it sit on the sales invoice lines. I'm going to drag and drop that up there, and then save and close. So now what I've done is created this as a calculation, the same as that within my cube. So let me click the refresh sign, open up measures, then open up the sales invoice lines, and now when we go down we can see that's a global calculation that can be used by anyone who has access to the cube. Great. Now let's deal with the cosmetic side of things. This does not look like a fancy report. So let's make it into a much more easy visualization to see. So I'm going to change it from a table into a chart. I'm going to remove the table away. I'm going to say that my sales per quantity is going to be something that I want as a bar chart. So let's go into design, change that as a bar chart, which already is. I'm going to have that as a new axis and put it as a lighter color in the background. Maybe not too light, we'll have a little bit more. Also, I don't really care about quantity being there. I just want to see the growth rate of quantity invoiced compared to the net sales invoice amount. So I'm going to click onto quantity, add a new vertical axis, and now I'm going to say that my net sales and quantity invoice should be a line graph. And look at that. So now we can see the relationship by the net sales invoice amount compared to the amount that's been invoiced. So what else can we do cosmetically? Let's get rid of some of this. So I'm going to go to axes, click onto there, and then click onto the vertical axis number 2. I'm going to remove the label there. I'm going to do the same thing for the next vertical axis, and I'm going to get rid of these grid lines. So from here, I'm going to go into design and get rid of the grid lines. And now my report is ready. But what else? There's other things that you can do here to show off too. From here, what we've also got is if we go to quantity invoiced, I can right click on there and drill down. That will take me into the day of that particular month. Really depends on how you built out your calendar. But also importantly, you've not seen me do any drill through reports. You can create your own customized drill through, or you can use ZAP's or EMDA's own drill through capability. Click drill through. Look at that. I can still break this information down by company on my drill through. And look at any month. In this particular month, it's October 2016, the company that we essentially chose, the month that we essentially chose on the report. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to discard this away and I'm going to save this as a report. I'm going to click OK, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at this report in consumer mode. Come out of designer mode and click on consumer mode. So what we see here is the report in consumer mode. Let's see what that looks like in consumer mode. So I'm going to right click, create a drill through, and then I've got my drill through that I can also export PDF, CSV and Excel. And that is how simple and quick you can do for designing your own reports and then giving the journey out to your audience members about creating content using ZAP or EMDA.